Yes, guys, welcome back. Yeah, I think we're actually regular-ish programming again. We had a bit of a gap.
We say it's every episode.
We say it's every episode, but yeah, we're obviously back. We've got another banger guest in. I would actually say this guy, I would describe him as an elder statesman of drum and bass, I think, at this point. I would say. Yeah, I was thinking about, like, who would be in, like, if there was, like, a council, you know what I mean? A council at DMV, who would be in there? You'd definitely be in there. For sure. Obviously, you can see the name of the title on the video. So, yeah, welcome, Mr. Paul Jubei. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Lovely drive down from Cheltenham today, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I've got to do it on the way home as well.
Yeah, right, let's try.
It will be a little bit better.
It'll be a little bit better.
I think it'd be like about 8-hour round trip, something like that.
Yeah, well, obviously super worth it.
Super worth
for
it.
the quality chat we're about to have. So,
Yeah.
but how's things anyway? How's things in general? Been busy? What's been going on, man?
Yeah, good. A lot of like life stuff going on with what I do outside of music.
Yeah.
I've got a kid, got a daughter, and that keeps me pretty busy. And then recently changed DJ agency. So
you're on Makina with us now, aren't you? Yeah.
So there's been a shift in what I do there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be all right, keeping me busy, keeping me out of trouble.
Nice.
Which is good.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a Makina episode, but
yeah,
it's a good move. We've really, I have to shout. I don't think I've actually ever shouted out Michelle on this podcast, but I have to shout out Michelle, man.
And Jordan, she's my
Jordan's your agent, right? Yeah. Big fan of Jordan as well.
Met her for the first time last week or the week before last.
Nice.
Brighton show.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. Was that for the Volks thing?
Yeah.
Duskies.
Monroe.
Yeah. So I played the.
Yeah, because I see you was down there and I didn't see you.
You know why, mate? It's because I had a flight at 6 a.m. the next day from Luton. So I literally came down to Brighton.
Okay. Why did you go from Luton? Just the destination.
It was a stag do in Prague, and like Luton Airport's obviously the place you have to fly from to do that.
Andrew Tate's home, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. me and the top G. But yeah, no, I literally had a flight at 6 a.m. So I literally played the show in the I360, and then as soon as it touched down, I was going to get the train back straight home. Yeah. So.
It looked good from what I saw.
You know what? It's cool up there. It's the second time I played up there. Did you play the first time?
I360. Not the first one, but I did a back-to-back with Charlie T up there.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm never going on that thing again.
Is it sturdy? It looks a bit...
It felt very sturdy.
Funny thing about that is...
Yeah, I don't know whether you should say this.
I think it's quite funny. I won't name names, but like basically when we played it, there was basically a no... I think we basically had to play like liquids, and there was like a no jump-in rule because...
Oh, don't get everyone going
Because
high.
apparently there was a show before, and everyone was going mental, and it actually bent...
Really?
The actual thing
Broke part of
that
it.
Really?
broke. Yeah, and it was like...
So like made it off...
I think the actual like the pole that it's on like actually bent off angle. So
wow.
So the cost...
What music were
were
they playing?
I don't know how to describe. I'll tell you after who it was, and then we can talk about what kind of music it was. It
wasn't drum and bass.
Wasn't drum and bass.
No.
So we can't blame D&B for it.
But donk.
It's similar. To be fair, you're not far off. Yeah. So so that I know that was the reason why it was very like just keep it chill and had to like disperse the people around the whole thing to keep
Quite
it weight.
civilised then.
Yeah, it was pretty civilised. And you know what? It was beautiful sunset. Like it was a really nice day there. So but yeah, how was the Volks? Is always fun though, isn't it? It's just like
It's Volks.
you know exactly what you're getting.
It's a black hole of it just swallows time. You know, when you go in there, you think I'm only going to go for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you come out of there and it's like the sun's up and like, you're like,
Yeah.
What time is it?
And you're literally on a beach as well, so it's like very disorientating.
And they got like a green room there now.
They do?
Yeah, it's the room next door,
like
right?
About 2 doors down or something.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, I'm not playing Volks.
Literally, the last time I was in Volks, 5 a.m. I was in that room. It's just like I wasn't even playing, bruv. I was supposed to just be popping by for a drink.
That's Volks, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Volks, man. That's Volks.
I remember when they tried to make the little top bit the green room. You know, there's like the little tiny bit
where the sound engineer's thing is up there.
Yeah. That's a funny club, man. That's a funny club.
That's great.
Yeah, shout out Volks. I love Volks, man. So, Paul, what we do here normally is when we have a guest on for the first time, we kind of like, we don't do it like what's the word, like with loads of scrutiny, but we kind of like to go through the journey of like how they arrived into doing music, what came before. It's interesting as well because I was looking at your discography, and obviously you can hope clear this up, but I saw like your first release in 2001, according to Discogs.
What was that?
It was called Revan Tergov. Is that not you? That's someone else called Jubei that made that
Someone
tune.
Yeah, I'm Jubei too. On
But it is
Discogs.
no, but that on there, that's on there, and it is a D&B tune.
Really?
Yeah, and then it said your next release was like 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
So that was your
my
first release.
came
Okay,
out,
that
yeah.
makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just some.
But this Rev and
mysterious other
Turgov tune is a D&B tune.
Berg and Turgov.
It's a weird name. I was unsure. That's why I wanted to ask you. I was like, this don't seem right. And then there was like a 4-year gap, and I was like, this don't seem right.
No.
Yeah, so you're Jubei 2 on Discogs. Yeah. So who's Jubei 1?
Obviously that guy.
That one
Yeah.
release wonder.
Never met him.
Beat me to it, yeah. No.
Yeah, that's funny actually. There was actually a little side story similar with us. There was like a guy in Hungary, I think, called GLXY. Before we had started, but he was like lowercase GLXY, and he had like one tune on SoundCloud, like 100,000 plays. And I was
What?
like,
Really?
yeah, and I was like, okay, this is the guy we had to topple. Yeah. And then
Take him out.
Yeah.
eventually, we obviously got more popular, and then he hit us up for a collab, and we were like, nah, man.
Really?
Sorry. We were
How
like,
would that be Galaxy?
yeah. He
Galaxy
was like,
featuring
he was like,
Galaxy.
wouldn't it be funny? I was like, no.
Yeah.
Didn't message him
weird.
again.
Stop
Sorry,
it.
mate. So yeah, if he's listening, sorry, man. Yeah, fair. All right, 2005 then. So that was the first release. But what was like we kind of were talking about it off camera a little bit. You did music lessons and stuff. But what was the kind of entry point into like music? What was your like, earliest musical memory?
You say music lessons. I did keyboard lessons to
Yeah.
get out of assembly when I was in primary school. That's to the extent.
That's the extent of the
I did
training.
for like 1 year.
Yeah.
So there was zero information retained, no skills acquired.
Part one, the pitch
Like,
bend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was when I was at
And your
secondary
basses.
school.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go.
So what came before?
Like, what came before Jubei? Like, what were you doing? Like, what was there? Was it DJing?
Yeah, just like most people, you know, listening to pop music and stuff, and then discovered hip hop and dance music when I got to secondary school.
Nice.
That was it, really. You know, like year 1, year 2, 13 maybe. Met some people who had older brothers. They had mixtapes, rave tapes, Fantasia, Odyssey, Obsession, all that sort of very stereotypical from people my age. And I remembered like one thing, we used to go and collect flyers, not records. We used to go to record shops and get flyers and cover your walls in flyers and stuff like that. And then a mate of mine, Will, his older brother had decks, and we used to wait for his brother to go out. Then we'd go in his room and start messing around, and that's when I realised that the tapes weren't one long song. I didn't realise that they were like people
Actually doing it manually.
I'd never seen it, so I didn't know.
Of course, yeah.
And then
how old were you at this point? You're like 13, 14, you said?
14 maybe.
Yeah.
And then so like 1994, and then I used to go roller skating at the youth club. And there was a little room to the side of it, and they had loads of decks set up, and there's this little thing called the Come Down Club, and there's all these older kids in there DJing. I remember just going and watching. And
very different meaning that though, right?
Yeah.
The Come Down Club, very different. Yeah. That was innocent though.
Yeah, I mean, probably about a year later, I fully understood what it meant. But and I was just sort of like watching them, and then that was it really. That was kind of like an insight, and then.
So you mixing hip hop and like D&B at this point?
Yeah, well, no. Initially, I was just mixing trance and techno.
Okay.
Because that's what the people in the area that I grew up listened to.
Whereabouts? Where was that?
It was in a place called Bridport in Dorset.
Okay.
And majority of the DJs, they were really good DJs and had really good taste in music, like the older guys. But it was trance and techno, and then hip hop. So I was mixing, and then like making tapes. Hip hop and techno, and then I remember first time really heard drum and bass was we went to Bristol to see Dave Angel, and then Full Cycle had a residency in room 2, and I got separated from my mates, and I went into room 2, and it was just a wall of heat, packed, just brown paper bag sort of stuff being played, Dynamite and just dark room, and it was just sweat dripping off the ceiling, and I was just like, Jesus, this is a hell of a contrast. So the main rooms is really cold, and Dave Angel just playing really good techno, but there was like the vibe was just, you could just see it, the difference. And then I came back from that, and I was down the record shop saying, "Oh, heard this stuff. These guys were playing," and then
So you didn't even know it's called drum and bass at this point? Or
didn't really know what it was. No,
Yeah, yeah.
and then someone like I can't remember exactly. I mean, it was a while ago, but we started to get records of jungle records and stuff like that. And then by the time I was going to college, so I was like 16, 17, we'd go to Yeovil College. So it was a long bus ride there and back. So I'd make a tape, and it would start off as hip hop, then go into techno, and then go into drum and bass.
Nice.
And then over the years, just kind of focused in on drum and bass.
Yeah, I mean, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I did see in one of your most recent Carbon Day parties, you did like a... In fact, I think I was with you the day before. We had a show somewhere.
We were in Switzerland.
That's it, we were in Switzerland, yeah. And then because you were playing a day party, but you were doing like an alternative...
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of DJs do alternative sets as well? And then...
Because we had such a big space.
Yeah.
We had the outside and then the inside, the warehouse.
Yeah.
So I just thought it'd be cool because I like to play alternative sets where possible.
Yeah.
Because years ago, Crags used to run a night in London, or Wax Jambu, and you just get all these drum and bass DJ connections to come and play non-drum and bass sets. So you had everybody playing down there, and then eventually they moved it to a small cocktail bar, and he used to get 2 DJs that he knew to go and play, and he'd play 3 hours each.
Yeah.
And just play whatever you wanted.
That's so, maybe I feel like we need a bit more of that, man. Like we always talk about it as well, don't we? Like the idea of putting the night on and just like, you can almost do it because you did like the half and half thing, right? Everyone does like an alternative set, then does like a D&B set. I think it's such a sick idea, man.
Yeah, and it's good because I remember like as a raver, but then also you get to see what the people that you go and watch DJ, what they like to play outside of that. So it's quite an insightful thing. And obviously, because they're good DJs, whatever they play is probably going to be quite good. Yeah. So just standing and watching people playing different music and seeing them enjoy it as much as they play the stuff they normally do. It's
interesting as well, because I was thinking like of like things that I wanted to ask you about today as well. And one of them was going to be about like how things have changed in the scene over the We'll come on to all of that stuff, but just linked to that. I feel like even when we first started playing out as like artists, so like 10 years ago, there was more license to do that. And I feel like the crowd they had a wider taste. I don't know if it's different now where like the younger ravers now just want to hear D&B or maybe like 140 or garage or whatever because it's all kind of in the same space. But like if you played like a disco or house track, maybe it wouldn't be like the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like earlier on there was maybe more license to that because obviously D&B lovers are also music lovers as well. So yeah.
I think like, you know, there was a period where people were putting a lot more sort of genres onto their albums and stuff. So when they would play out, they would test that stuff out. So people were kind of hearing people like Icy and Alex and stuff. I did some 140 stuff as well years ago, and you could get away with sort of starting one way and then finishing another way. And people tend to be more along for the ride than, I guess, they just want to be smashed in the face now. So it's like, I guess, more freedom, I guess.
I think so. I mean, I've definitely noticed it. Although the garage thing's been really nice though, because that's like a genre that me and Tom have been playing for years anyway. Yeah. And now that it's kind of like popular again, we can now play that in our sets, and it's like it does well at this point. Yeah. Maybe in 2 years' time it goes out of fashion again, but at the moment it's like it's quite good for that. But yeah, okay. So jumping back then, so we will come back onto that stuff. I was just thinking about it when you were saying it. So obviously you said you were making hip hop, techno, drum and bass tapes. Yeah. And didn't you like? I feel like you met Stu at some point along this this journey as well, quite early on.
Stu when I was 17. So I was living in Dorset, and so basically I grew up on caravan sites, like holiday parks. Like my dad was like a general manager of holiday parks. Yeah. And his role within the company was basically like a fixer. So we would have to move to caravan parks that were struggling. They'd have to turn them around in 2 years.
You had to stay in the caravans as well.
Yeah. Then we'd move. Yeah. Or sometimes, like or in caravans, or there'd be a house or a flat above the office or whatever. Yeah. And then every 2 years we'd keep moving, and then we got to Bridport, and then I met all my mates at school, like Will, who runs Exit. And part of
it is Exit Will,
so we used to sit next to each other in class and stuff.
That's mad, and,
so I met them, and then obviously got into music really there, and then like my dad passed, and we had to move because of the way it was set up with the company that he worked for. So me and my mum and my sister, we moved to another holiday park in Essex, and I ended up getting a job in a warehouse, and it was making food for horses, race horses. So it was literally just like this dingy. It was called dingy, dingy sort of factory.
Yeah.
And I would make mixtapes at home and then listen to them on my lunch break, then go home, tweak them, re-record the same mixtape and just refine it. And then one day I was having lunch and this other young guy, he was like, what are you listening? Because he could hear it. And he's like, what are you listening to? So drum and bass. He said, I like drum and bass. I've got a mate of mine as an MC. I said, we'll give him this tape. So he took the tape, and then it was Stu's mate. School
Okay,
mate.
nice.
So then a couple of days later, they were like, "Oh, he'd like you guys should meet up." I said, "Well, come to my caravan." So he said, "Okay." And then I think about a week later, he brought Stu down to my caravan.
Yeah.
And I had like my deck set up in a little room in the caravan, and Stu came with his little plastic microphone, and yeah, and that was
start
the
of a
first
beautiful
time I met him.
friendship. Yeah.
And then like we just. That was it. After like meeting him that one time, he just came down like every night pretty much, and I was practicing DJing, he was practicing MCing, and that was the beginning of it really. Haven't been able to shake him off since.
Yeah, tricky one to shake off.
yeah. No, that was great. But again, it's like what's mad about that is like it was a real fork in the road situation where like it took my dad passing to change the trajectory of my life to where I moved to Essex.
Yeah,
got a job in this factory, met this bloke. He knew Stuart.
Yeah.
Whereas if that hadn't have happened, I probably wouldn't have ever met him. And
that's mad.
Gone down that. Do you know what I mean?
What's the word? Is that serendipitous? I think is the word, isn't it? Like to describe that.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's and obviously we've gone on to do stuff together from that first meeting, which is
the plastic microphone.
Yeah, his little echo.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's nuts, man. I didn't realize that was the story, and also the fact that you and Will as well went to school together is quite bad as well. And he's obviously a huge part of Exit Records as well. So
yeah, man. So we've all kind of like come up together, but in different parts. You know, like people have gone off at different times and done stuff, and but we've all kind of. There was one point where we're all sort of, you know, like Will was running the Exit nights and running Exit, and me and Stu were playing at them. Then we did the Code Free stuff, and that was pretty wild because it was just like, wow, we've all like kind of working together, but from such a young age. Now we're all doing this thing together, and it's all. Yeah, it's pretty wild, really.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, to be fair, it's nice when that happens. Like me and Tom met at uni. And Josh and Glue, we all went to the same uni together.
Oh, really?
That's how we, similar thing. Like, literally, none of us were DJs at that point.
Where was that?
At Leicester.
Okay.
Yeah, we were all studying like physics and chemistry and stuff. Like,
really?
Super random. And like, none of us. Actually, Josh had just started producing. Tom had just. I wasn't even really producing, and then we all just sort of started DJing and producing at the same time, and then ended up doing that. Yeah,
it's great though, isn't it? When you've got a history.
It's nice, man.
Real mates.
And like we've known each other for like over 10 years. Like, it's nice.
I think it's good for like. Making sure you don't get above your station as well,
and also like creatively as well. Just having mates that are like doing similar stuff to you, like sending you their stuff, and it's like almost like healthy competition in a way as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I've been quite lucky in a sense as well. Like, I didn't go to school with any of the guys that we still work with, but a couple of people that over the years, anybody that I had musically connected with growing up in the local area or nearby areas in East London. There's someone from a different point in my life growing up that I now work with today. So like the photographer at Shogun, Mikey, who takes all of our press shots, I used to go to school with him, played in a band with him, and then lost touch with him for 20 years. And then he randomly started working at Shogun. Didn't know that I was an artist on their label.
So then came to do a shoot and then it was like, oh shit, no way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the guy who does all of our like graphic design and our live visuals and stuff is someone that I used to run a record label with when I very first started getting into drum and bass and was trying to put out music and that, and he sort of
it's mad, isn't
put me onto your music. He did. So
really?
We were talking about this in the car. We were talking about this in the car. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the music then, because obviously you said you were DJing for a while. What? And again, I think this is how things have changed quite a lot as well. I think now people start as producers. Like people. I mean, you see it, right? People start producing, they've never DJ before.
They can get it.
They get booked.
They don't even have to have anything physical now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's literally, you can just get. I got a cracked version of FL as my first door.
Yeah.
ironically, I work for FL now.
Right,
I told him that in the interview as well. I was like, by the way, I cracked your software 15 years ago.
Yeah, like, thank
Now,
God.
give me a job. Yeah. But like, I think, people now start as producers and then they kind of are forced to DJ when they get popular and then like, oh, people want to book me or whatever. Whereas I think for your journey, even for us as well, we both started as DJs, right? So, yeah. What was the jump? So, like, I guess the question is, did you feel like you had to start making music in order to get to another level?
I kind of like I was starting to get a bit of traction from DJing and stuff because of like we did like Pirate, and then GQ started a night at Dingwalls, and then Stu and I were residents there, and then off the back of that started getting a few gigs, couple gigs in Europe and stuff like that, and then played at Fabric a couple of times and just sort of.
So you got quite far without making a tune then, basically. Yeah.
And then, but then like the producer thing started to sort of pull away, and it was like you need to be making music to get these gigs now.
Yeah.
They were getting fewer and fewer, and it was at a point where,
or at least to be like a headliner, maybe you at least need to
you
be.
needed to have more of a presence in the scene than just DJing in London or wherever it was.
Yeah.
And I was living with Stu at the time, and he had a setup. He had like an iMac and had some stuff on it, so we started to pick up a bit from that. But then I moved back to Newcastle, and I bought a setup, and I started doing stuff with Phobia because he was somebody that I knew in Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I ended up going around to his all the time and just soaking up all the production information I could from him, basically. Who, to be fair to him, he was an amazing producer. He'd had like stuff out on Hardware and Interactive and stuff like that, so he knew what he was doing. And then that was it. Just persistence, really, not real talent. Just turning up every day, turning the computer on, doing it, and then I remember like the real shift was when I would make tunes and then send them to people, and then it took about maybe 5-6 years or whatever. Then a few tunes started to land, a couple smaller labels signed some bits.
Yeah.
But then there was a period where I wrote some music just before the Metalheadz stuff came out. And it just seemed like one tune went into the system almost. And then it went from me chasing people to get their attention to people saying,
nice.
There was a complete U-turn.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wow, this is...
Was this because I saw as well when I was looking through your discos as well, you did quite an early collab with James Breakage as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that was my first release.
Yeah, I think
Breakage.
it was either your first or second, like 2005, 6. Yeah.
Well, I think I always get confused, but like the first two tunes that I did that came out, one was with Sabre, and then the other one was with Breakage. But the one with Breakage was two tunes, a single on GQ's MC Recordings.
Nice.
And the other one was one track with Sabre, which came out on Breakage and Equinox's.
Two pretty
scientific
good producers to work with as well, right? Yeah.
Bad, eh?
Not bad at all. So how did you meet James then? Was that?
I've known James for a really long time. Basically, when Swerve, I used to go to Swerve every Wednesday.
I was Fabio's
Velvet Rooms, yeah. It was on Charing Cross Road, and it got to the point where I would go on my own, and then there was a couple of other people.
You just knew people that would be there,
yeah. But I knew Bailey through some friends, and he introduced me to James. He was like, "Look, you two should be mates, basically, because you both come down here and you're both weirdly obsessed with what's going on." And that was it. And then just after I met him was when he did his, at the time I think it was his unofficial remix of Drums, Doc Scott.
Yeah.
He did an Eamon version of it that came out on Reinforce, I think. And then Metalheadz was at Limelight shortly after that, and then that's when his stuff, that particularly that tune became quite a big tune. But yeah, so that's how I met James, was through Bailey many years ago, and I met I can't remember how I met Gove Sabre, through Stu, I think. Yeah, so that's how those two tunes came about. But I remember like going down to stay in Mitcham at Breakage's mum's when we made the tunes, and he was using Tracker.
Yeah.
So it's just all these like the Matrix.
Like numbers as well. Yeah.
Which was
I saw Sully, the jungle producer Sully. He still uses a Tracker.
Yeah.
I was watching his videos.
It's mad, isn't it?
I was watching one of his he did like a breakdown of that 5 tune, which I love that tune. And yeah, I was the first round clock was like, this guy who uses it, like literally uses that now in 2025 to make music. I was like, it's
and
crazy.
the other thing as well, which is mad, which I hope he doesn't mind me saying, is like, so he had Tracker on some old beat up studio computer thing, and he had one Jamo speaker, right, like big wooden box thing. And then when we were like, when he was kind of, I guess, mixing, he was like, "Oh, can you go and stand in the hallway?" So he had like his bedroom door was open. I stood in the hallway, and he was like filtering the sub, and he's like, "When that bathroom door glass rattles, can you let me know?" So I was standing in the hallway, and he was going, "Now," and it was going. I was like, "Yeah." He's like,
and that was
okay,
like the sweet spot, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how he figured it out.
That is nuts.
But I was
man.
like, right, okay, yeah.
To be honest, like hearing that and then understanding how good this guy's mixdowns are now, like it kind of makes sense that you had to figure out a way to like.
But at the time, I just thought that was part of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, oh, this is what you do, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's the glass rattling frequency you want to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's so funny. So the tune that then you said that was the one that kind of started going in circulation. What was that tune called? You were talking about one.
I think it might have been like the early version of Patience before I got Darren to do it.
I did wonder if it was that tune. Yeah,
because that was when was it Matter? Was the other Fabric.
Oh, too, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like because I'd moved back down to London for a little bit, and I was living with a girlfriend, and we sort of split up. And my studio was in this flat, and I was sort of staying between friends, and I had to go in there when she was at work. So I went in there one day and I took Darren with me and I played it to Darren, and he goes, "Oh, can I get a version to go and play at Matter?"
Yeah.
And then after that, I think someone heard him play it. They asked what it was, and then I got a text because it was just people texting. Because I remember, like, another thing I remember as well was like, where there was obviously no social media or anything like that. So it was like,
was it not like AIM at that point? People
it was AIM, but like it was when a tune was getting momentum or getting played a lot, you'd wake up in the morning to loads of texts. Fabio played your tune last night or whatever, and I started to get that from Darren playing this thing at Matter, and then obviously built the rest of the EP around that. And then it wasn't until right before I finished it that I asked him to do a vocal for it. And then that's literally, from that point on, it was people coming to me midweek to get tunes for the weekends.
Yeah.
As opposed to me constantly
chasing people.
Going on to, "Oh, I've made a new tune. Will you listen to it?" kind of thing.
I think that, to be honest though, like, it's something we spoke about a lot. There's a lot to be said about that kind of like, I guess it's like that hustle mindset at the start though. Like you kind of need to have it, man. Like, I mean, it's a bit, and the thing is, it's easier now with social media, right? Because all you got to do is just DM someone and be like,
and that's right. I mean, the hustle mindset was like, I remember being at someone else because everyone had an AIM list, but everyone knows different people.
Yeah.
So I'd go to someone's house who I knew had an AIM list, and I'd look at who was on their AIM. Go right, okay, Andy C. I haven't got that one, and then I go and put it into my one, and then just look at it for ages. I think, can I message that person? And I can't remember where I was, and someone had Goldies, and I made a note of his AIM
username,
and I went on and I put it into my thing, and I think I was drunk, and I just sent him a message, and he was like, "How the fuck did you get who the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Oh no, I've ruined it before anything's happened." Yeah, but fortunately it worked out. But
yeah, I mean, like, because even for us, like, I would say we were like just before the social media boom into the social media boom, and I remember like early on going to nights and like going up to my favorite DJ and being like, "This is our producer name, like, can I send you some tunes?" And still doing that whole like, do you know what I mean? And I feel like that was honestly that's like for me that was like a key, what's the word, like milestone almost of like becoming a producer and like, do you know what I mean, getting your tunes played out and stuff like that.
Actually having to go out and like
meet people in real life.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah. Well, obviously now we get like 20 DMs like a week of people like, here's a tune, here's a tune. And to be honest, like, I'm probably not going to listen to it if it's like, if I've never met the person.
Just because it's overwhelming how easy it is now
to send people,
be sent music, whereas you almost had to work a bit in order to get your music across to the right people.
Totally.
Yeah, and now it's just like click a button.
Yeah.
And it can be that simple. And so I think it's fair that you don't then listen to everything.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, and I guess even obviously running a label, you must have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like your spidey senses kick in because you can go, I know
the tune's going to be dead.
So you go, send it, and you like straight over. But there's
natural filters built in. Yeah.
But I have like a really bad, even though I say that, to sort of flip that, I do listen to everything.
Yeah.
So I used to have like a folder, and people used to make fun of me of it because they were like, "Why have you got so much crap on your laptop?" I said, "But you've got to listen to everything because you could just have like one really good tune in there that at the time you got to have stuff that not everyone else has." And that has kind of made me listen to. But then sometimes I say that I could completely contradict myself again. I just think there's no way you're going to make a killer. Just,
I kind of know what you mean.
What I mean?
I feel
it's
like
bad, isn't it? Saying
I feel like I developed it a little bit. Like you can almost tell when you're not going to like someone.
And you don't want to deter anyone.
Yeah, of course.
Because you can't send that kind of a message out there going.
Yeah.
These people say, yeah, send it and then delete it. It's not inspiring or giving anyone hope, is it? The road ends there.
Yeah,
I'm never going to send that guy anything because he said that he just deletes stuff. He doesn't like the look of your Instagram profile. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not the way to live.
But there is also, at the same time, there is also a way to approach people when you're going to send them music as well, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess if you had to give some advice on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, a Russian guy hit me up on AIM, got my AIM, so the tables were turned.
Nice.
How did you get my AIM? And he said, "You give me tune." And I was like, okay, like what, is a specific one? He's just like, "Give me tune." And I was like, okay, you're going to get deleted now. Because...
Yeah.
So don't approach people like that.
Yeah.
That's rule number one. Don't demand something from someone you don't know and something that has someone that has something that you want.
Yeah.
Just, what is it they say? Catch bees with flowers, right? So just be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Approach them.
Never heard that saying, man. It makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Do the right thing, innit?
Yeah.
Rather than putting... Because I guess now people are a lot more relaxed. Whereas I think like years ago, people used to put on a bit of a persona within drum and bass. Bad man, rude boy, or whatever. Like trying to be too cool.
Everyone's a softie now, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's just themselves now. Do you know what I mean?
There's no one scary in drum and bass anymore.
It was all like standing like that for press shots, leaning under a bridge with graffiti on it. That was the go-to press shot.
Of course.
They get people like walking in the road and that, just chilling out, being themselves. I like the ones where people are like in a cafe. They've just got food in front of them. I'm like, that's real. Do you know what I mean? Or in the pub with a pint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you have to stand under a railway bridge with a graffiti? Do you know
Why is it in black and white all the time?
Yeah, and just looking angry.
With like a chain link and everything. Yeah.
So true. Well, speaking of personas then, I guess it's time to talk about the Metalheadz era then, right? Because did you get a phone call from Goldie? How did that happen? What was your first...
What, to be part of it?
To be part of it, yeah.
I just kind of come at... Well, this is quite a mad story. I just kind of like...
That's why we're here. Here for the mad ones.
I just started speaking to him off the AIM thing.
So after you thought you'd basically fucked it?
Yeah. About 2 years of sending him tunes, and he's like, yeah, these are okay, like they're not bad. Other people were playing my stuff, but like he was somebody that I really looked up to when I was getting into music, and obviously Metalheadz. Because the first sort of drum and bass that I really got into was like Bookham. But then when I heard a Goldie, it was on Mix Mag. It was like a tape that came out, and he'd recorded a mix, and it was the first time I'd heard anything that dark and industrial. And I was like, oh, I really like that, because it was like the sort of techno that I liked.
Yeah.
So he was always somebody in my head as like a figurehead. So then when I eventually started speaking to him, I wanted to kind of follow up and make sure that when I was making adjustments or progressing, I always wanted him to be the first person to hear it. And eventually it got to the point where we were chatting quite regularly. And I remember one day I was living in Newcastle, and I was unemployed. I was at my computer in my pants, and he rang me and he was like, "Do you know how to use Cubase, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know how to use a program called Sibelius?" And I was like, "I think so." And he goes, "Well, I need to know." Like, so, well, give me 20 minutes. I'll just have a look into it. So I put the phone down. I rang a friend of mine, and I said, "What's Sibelius?" Right? And he was like, "Oh,
like
why?"
manuscript software.
It's like proper musical
So it turns the MIDI into notations so that orchestras and that can read it. And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Oh, because Goldie's asked me if I know how to use it." And he was like, "No, you won't be able to use it." I said, "Okay, cool." Put the phone down and rang him up, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do it." Right? And I was like, I just figured, put yourself in the room and just deal with it later.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Right, okay." He goes, I need you to come to London. And I was like, when? He's like, now, like today. And I was like, well, I'm in my pants, like in Newcastle. And I was like, I don't have any money. And he was like, okay. He was like, right, give me your bank details. And he just sent me like a load of money, and he was like, get the train down, like straight away. So I was like, oh my God, like, one, what am I going to do when I get there? And two, like, I'm going to Goldie's house.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, I got to the station, he picked me up, drove me to the house, went straight in the studio, and I hadn't signed any music to him at this point. So I was thinking, like, if I mess this up,
This could be it.
it's done. It's just down the toilet, you know? And fortunately, it wasn't that bad. It was quite easy to sort of figure it out. So then I'm like, what are we doing? And he had this board on, like, this big sort of whiteboard, and he had this massive drawing on it. And he's like, right, basically, I'm working on a TV program, and I'm writing a piece of classical music, and it's about evolution. So it starts here at the Big Bang and then it ends here. And he'd drawn it all out in picture form, but then every part of it, he could break down into what the sound of that section of the drawing meant. So he already heard the whole thing in his head, and he only drew a picture of it, so I could kind of understand what he was talking about, which was even more intimidating, because now I'm like, wow, now I'm like, he couldn't have made it any easier for me. So if I mess it up, he's like, I literally drew it down for you, you know. And then we literally started playing all this stuff. And then he was like, what will happen is this will all get sent off to an orchestra, and then it'll get put into a performance, and then that performance will happen at the Royal Albert Hall. So I was like, okay, wow. So I was there for a few days, and then I went back home. And then a couple of days after that, he rang me, and he's like, I need you to come back to London again. I said, okay. And he said, got a surprise for you. Just okay. So then he was like, right, get to somewhere. Where's Borough Market? That's
London Bridge.
London Bridge, yeah. So he's like, meet me there. So got the train down, met him there, and picked me up. And then he took me to about 5-minute drive from Borough Market. And there was like an old church, like a big old church. And all these sort of BBC vans and that outside, and then we went inside. It's like this big sort of amphitheatre sort of church thing set up for orchestras to rehearse in, and there was a 170-piece orchestra practicing this music, and some of the bits that I'd done, like not very, very small amount, but a few hi-hats or whatever. I mean, a few little triangle chimes and that, but I contributed.
Yeah, that's mad though,
yeah, so they were all practicing, and they were filming it and that, and I was up on this balcony. There's only about 4 other people, and it was like an editor from the Times and the Guardian and that were there, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, see that hi-hat? Good boy. Like. Nailed it. You know what I mean? So and then that happened, and then we come out of there, and then we it was a couple of weeks later, then I got tickets for the Royal Albert Hall, and we had like a little box.
Nice.
So we went to the Royal Albert Hall and watched them do it live there, and David Attenborough was doing.
I was going to ask if it was an Attenborough thing, yeah.
And then I thought that was pretty mad. But then, so to go back to how I got into the Metalheadz thing was while I was there, we were working on that particular project at his house in the studio. In the evenings, we'd have a drink and have like play music and stuff like that. And then that's when he was like, right, I want to take this one, I want to take that one. And from then, that's when because the first tune I had out on Metalheadz was Entrapment, and that came out on an EP with like me, Spy, I think Moses, and Spectre Soul, I think.
Wow.
Damn, that's awesome.
Moses being Nefamira's Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, yeah. So he was just Moses on his own.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did my Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained EP, which had like Patience, Carbon, Alignment, and Project One with Carlos Spy. And then that was it then. I was just in...
You were just in that point, yeah.
I was never signed to Metalheadz, but they just had first refusal and everything, because that's the relationship that I had with G. Everything I made, I just sent to him.
Yeah.
When it was just like...
I suppose at that point as well, like, Metalheadz is probably, for your sound, it's the biggest label for it, isn't it, at that point?
But then, and then that was it. So like after that, I had a run of like, I think I did like 9 releases in a period of like 12 months, which was like the first time someone had done that who hadn't put out an album.
Yeah.
So he was just like, whenever you do stuff, we'll put it out. And then I think there was a period where I'd written some stuff and there was stuff released that I had my own catalogue number, so I could just release alongside the schedule as well. I mean, I don't write music at all now, so it's weird to even talk about having such a spell of writing music. It just feels like another lifetime ago now. But
I know. Well, I guess one of the things I was going to ask was like, how did Metalheadz kind of shape you as an artist? But it sounded like it just kind of gave you the confidence to keep releasing like stuff,
massively,
right?
yeah. It was a real confidence boost.
Yeah,
and like it was.
And at this point, you know your sound at this point as well. I'm guessing, or are you still exploring at this point, or
I think around that point, it kind of sort of bottlenecked into what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been drum and bassy. There's no music in my music, so it's always just been rolling drums and beeline, and that's pretty much it.
It's the Jubei drums, man. The rolling drums. I mean, that's some of the best rolling drums in the game, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's more. I guess easier to do because you don't have to put any sort of fancy bits into it.
Ironically, I would say it's easier to do it the other way now because Splice and all that stuff is so good.
Yeah.
I would say being musical now is not impressive like it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can get keyboards that light up and tell you what keys.
This is what I mean.
That's mad to me.
I think making good drums is actually the thing that sets people apart now.
Wow.
You probably. Right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. To be completely honest with you, man. Like
so many tunes now have good music but terrible drums.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
Like so many tunes.
Easily, the thing that people fall short on is
the drums. 100%. Yeah.
But that's like the backbone of it.
Well,
I
said, with things like Splice, it's just like generally how good samples are now.
Yeah.
Like sample providers. It's easier to make something sound good musically. This is kind
but the thing is, I think it's easier to make drums that sound passable nowadays. But that's the difference, right? We're not talking about passable drums. We're talking about
actually
some of the best drums out there. There are producers out there like yourself who are like known for having that like extra level. That the average person can't bring to the table.
And it is a thing that takes time as well, man. When I think about all my favorite producers who's like for their drums. Yeah, none of them are new. Like they're all guys that have been doing it for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that is honestly that in terms of mastery of like this genre, that's the telltale sign for me, man. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. See, there you are.
Well, I don't know what to say now. You know what I mean? Well, okay.
So yeah,
but we're also the nerds. So like the average person,
they may not pay attention to it as much as we do.
That sort of stuff.
But like as a producer, when I'm making tunes and I'm making drums, I'm like, how do I get my drums to sound as good as X, Y, Z? You know what I mean? Because that's who you're thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Whereas someone who's listening on Spotify on a pair of AirPods on a train. Maybe isn't paying the same level of attention as we are, but you notice it in the club as well, though, man. That's the thing.
That's another thing.
Yeah. All right, so this is all kind of leading up to your debut album now. I'm guessing that's like 9 releases on Metalheadz. You were saying kind of we were just putting things out when they were ready. What was the kind of moment where you were like, really, I should do a longer form project?
That wasn't my suggestion.
Okay, interesting.
Their suggestion.
Okay.
He was like, you're ready to do an album. I think you should expand what you do as an artist, be an artist, rather than someone who just makes singles,
like 12s basically,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I said okay, and then I signed an album deal, and then I went like about a year over the handing date, and then it took me about, I can't remember, a couple of years to do. I had ideas and had like quite a lot. Cut them down, not as many as like what I hear you guys talking about. How many you guys have?
Well, in terms of the part that goes into,
because I don't have spares, like because I find it so difficult that if it gets finished, it'll come out basically. I have a pot of stuff because I'm not creative enough to pour enough into it. So
alternative take. Because when we talk about like having a pot of like 60 ideas or whatever,
that's mad.
I would say
50 of them will be.
But I would say 50 of them are crap. But really, because like I would say we probably as duos we probably have a similar process where it's like you almost write the bad ideas to get to the good ideas.
I will get rid of it.
But then also as well, like what sounds like a bad idea to me today in 3 months' time to Harry could sound like a real great like idea starter and envelop.
And because obviously the two of us, as well, again, me and Tom, we're
hive
right,
mind,
we're just like
yeah.
writing stuff in our spare time, and like loads of it's not good. But then like there might be one sound from that one thing where it's like, okay, we can use that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like you're probably more doing that A&R and filtering process as you're writing the idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just writing anything. Like, if we played you some of the stuff that was in there, we'd be like, really? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Which we won't.
Not
Because we want you to respect us, so we're not going to play that stuff. But yeah, so when we say like 60, 70 ideas, that's why. It's because we're just writing loads of, like, just whatever comes to your mind, just like put it down in it. So yeah. So you're saying then, because how long's the album? 12, 13 tracks, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
And then so you probably wrote like 15 tunes for it basically or something, or maybe
Yeah, because we did like did an album sampler, but I think that those 2 tunes came out on. No, I think we did 2 samplers because I did a 10-inch one, which was me and Flodan, like a grime 140 tune, and then
that was different to. You did more than one tune with Flodan?
Yeah, did 2
nice.
with Flodan. And I think we did 3. We did 2. 2 came out, and I think 1 didn't get finished.
Yeah. Mate, easy payday now. Finish that one now, put it out, right?
Yeah.
He's done all right since then, hasn't he? Yeah.
Grammy nominated.
Yeah,
one,
mad,
crazy.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's good to see though.
Yeah.
Long time. It's been putting in the work. I mean,
well, we wanted to ask about it because we were chatting about it in the car. One thing we did notice, and I brought it up. It was Say Nothing has like 3 different edits, right?
What does it?
Yeah, so the one on the album is called the 3:47 edit, which is 3 minutes 47 seconds long.
Right.
Yeah, I've always noticed it's called that edit. I didn't put it together that there's the track length as that. Then there's an extended edit, and I think there's like a shorter edit as well.
I would have thought there'd be a radio edit.
Yeah.
And then the
original.
Yeah.
Nah, but you've got like an extended. There's like 3 edits of that.
But
You don't remember him doing that? Maybe someone else did that. Yeah.
Maybe they did.
We were going to ask like, why is there so many edits?
I've no idea. Like,
yeah.
If you just, I would have just said no, that's not true.
Yeah, but it's literally like it literally is a thing. Yeah.
No, I don't know why that's like that. I honestly don't know why.
Fair
343 edit.
It's 347. That's what it's
Never
called.
heard of that in
I don't
my
know if you called it that, but it's literally called the 347 edit, like 3:47 edit. Yeah, so like the 3 minutes 47 edit.
So that must just be for the CD then.
It's on Spotify.
Maybe,
On
no,
Spotify.
but that's what it will be like. That it would have been an edit done for the CD back then, and then obviously because
that's
Spotify
made it
wasn't a thing
onto
back then,
that's
innit?
made it onto Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is 3 minutes 47 seconds long. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We thought there'd be like a really interesting story.
Yeah, we were like, I wonder why he's done that. Yeah.
In the car, like what it could have been.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was did you do that in the studio with Flodan, or was that? Like what was that like?
Both tunes we did in the studio together.
Nice.
But like I wrote the tunes and then sent them to him.
Yeah.
Then we linked up, went in the studio. So the first tune we did together was Say Nothing.
Yeah.
And because it was originally called Snitch, and then we recorded it at not far from here, down at Tower Bridge. Alex Evans, you know Alex Evans?
Know the name.
Mixes loads of vocal stuff.
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah.
So he had a place down by right next to Tower Bridge, and he had a set up in his flat, like really nice flat, and then Flodan came, and then he'd had pretty much everything written, so he was doing it off his phone, and then like changed a couple of bits, and then that probably was like 3 or 4 hours, and then I wrote The Moment, which was like a 140 thing.
Yeah.
And then we went to Alex Evans again, but this time he was in a studio opposite where Plastic People used to be.
Yeah.
And he hadn't written anything at that point. So he'd had the tune, but had an idea. So we went in the studio and just sat for like half a day, and he just wrote it out, did a bit, changed it again, did it, and that was pretty cool just watching him. Because everyone else I'd worked with vocally, they didn't sit down and write it in front of me. So I was like, this is a bit mad. Like,
Yeah.
but it's impressive, like how they can piece it together.
I always find this. I've had a couple sessions where I've had both, basically. Yeah, ones where they've come fully prepped.
Yeah.
To be fair, actually, all my most recent in-person sessions I've done with vocalists, they've actually all written the vocal in the room.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and you kind of just sit there for a bit.
Because it's like, surely what you you'd sort of go, right, I'll write this now. I'll go away with it.
Yeah,
I'll think about it. I'll tweak it. It's like if you sort of wrote a story, you wouldn't just want to publish it, put it out straight away. You want to kind of sit with it for a bit. It's basically what they're doing, right? So it's like to just go, right, okay, that's done in the moment, within a couple of hours, and go, that's what I want to put out there. Because when you write a tune, you spend time with it.
Several sessions on it. Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, that's mad. But then again, just practice, isn't it? I guess.
I think it is.
I mean, forte.
It's interesting. I don't know. Have you ever done a tune with Del? I think.
Done a couple with Del.
Yeah, so he's an interesting one because like he writes really fast, right?
Yeah.
But I remember listening to like I don't know if it was like a podcast or something that he did, and he said the reason he's able to write so fast is because when they were going to the studio when they were younger, they didn't have a lot of money, so they were paying for like
studio
an hour, and then so it had an hour to write like 7 tunes or whatever. So that's how they got good at this, like writing things really fast.
Every time I've done a couple tunes with Del, it's always been like pretty much straight away. Come back like we did. The first one I did with him was for my album. Was me and Marcus wrote a tune called "Tip the Scales." And then
of course that's I literally played that tune in my last set.
But then, and it was like, we should get Del on it, and he's like, okay. And then literally I left, and then Del next day they emailed and said, "What do you think of this?" I was like, "That's really good." And then that came out on my album, and then it was, I can't remember, like a year maybe down the line, and they were in the studio, and they rang me up, and they're like, "You owe us a tune."
Nice.
And they're like, "We need one for Del's album." So I said, "Oh, I actually got one here." So I sent it. I played it down the phone, them ones. Listen to this kind of thing, and they're like, "Yeah, wicked, send it." And then half an hour later, they're like, "Check your email." And then Del had done the vocals for the Puppeteer that I did on his album. And I was thinking, right, and then that was going to be the lead single of his album, and then The View came along. And just rained all over my parade. And I wasn't even on the same vinyl as it, but no one remembers that, do they? Thanks very much.
Yeah, Luke.
Just pissed on my chips with that one.
That's so funny, man. Tip the Scale. Literally, I played that. We did a Fabric show like last month, and we put that in the set. Man, I love that tune.
Yeah, it's nice. How was that? That was the 10 years of Galaxy, right?
Yeah, it was really good, man. Like, I was super nervous because it's just like...
Room 2's banging now.
Honestly, we talk about it a lot. It's like maybe it's in my top 3 like favourite rooms in London for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And like the way... Have you played since they've redone it? Like with the...
Yeah, you go up the thing and then down into the
and the booths on the floor.
Thing.
Like the sound's super tight now.
Yeah.
Like everything about it's just like how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
better
wicked,
than Room 1, isn't it?
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I mean...
I've done Room 3
You've never
4 times. I've done Room 1 3 times now. We've never done Room 2.
Really?
That's mad.
Never done Room 2.
You know what, though? Like, Room 1 is good when you're in the booth. I've always said it. When it's on the stage, it's not as fun. But when you're in the...
Yeah, that was our first ever
in the booth
experience. Was in the booth.
It's like it feels like you're in a tank or something, doesn't it?
It's like a little letterbox.
Yeah. I love it, man.
But Room 2, it just like there's just like a soft spot, a nostalgic soft spot. It's always been just one of the best sounding rooms
and
in this
also
city,
as well, like when
this country.
when Fabric used to do like the Fabric Lives like 10, 15 years ago, and it was like they'd have like such different lineups as well. Like Room 1 would be like players, and you'd have like, I don't know, like Critical, like a dubstep night in Room 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Room 2 always used to pop off.
Autonomic in Room 3.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to love them nights, man. Yeah. So just back to the album then, because I do want to ask, what was it like working with Marcus on a tune?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I mean...
I guess you've worked with Goldie and Marcus in your career, which is pretty mad, isn't it? Like...
Yeah, I mean, both pretty talented people.
Yeah.
I mean, completely different experiences.
Yeah, of course.
One was, let's say, a bit more chill than the other one. But like, Marcus was good because like I used to play. He used to book me for Solution in Manchester at Band on the Wall, and I would either come the night before or stay afterwards if we didn't have to go anywhere, and we just drink loads of wine and just sit around chatting shit, basically.
Nice.
And the studio came after. Should we go upstairs and just have a go in the studio? So did like 3 or 4 tunes with him, and it was just like really easy for him. Like it's just it's mad watching him. And what do you think of that? And I was like, well, you just did it, so it's pretty fucking sick, actually. Do you know what I mean?
Bit of a savant, yeah.
But then I often joke that it's like getting this is pretty rolling, isn't it? And he said, that's a bit fucking shy, isn't it? And I'm like, oh, really? I quite liked it, you know? And he just sort of grumble and go downstairs and get more wine and like, just be so pissed. And then like, I tapped out and I was just like, I need to go and lie down. He's like, all right. And then I went downstairs, crashed on the sofa, and then in the morning, like, went upstairs. And he'd done like about 3 techno tunes, and done some more stuff to the one we were working on. I was thinking, Jesus, like, how early did I go to bed? Do you know what I mean? Like, how productive were you? It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I think, what else? We did a few things like over the internet, and we did a couple of things together. But just, you know, good fun. Go out for dinner and then come back and do music and then just get drunk, and that was pretty much the vibe, you know, just drink wine and chat shit, and then just stuff was happening in the background. But it was, you know, I mean, sorely missed. Very good man, good person, like good for advice, very honest, and his respect that he gave me and had for me meant a lot to me because I admired him as you know, the levels that he set and the standards that he had. It was somebody who mattered a lot to the scene, you know, and as well as on a personal note. So, it was good working with him. And then obviously working with Goldie, same thing, a lot of respect, huge idol to me growing up. But just a really, like, intense studio, as you can imagine, like writing dark drum and bass in the studio with Goldie. It's quite a intense
experience,
thing,
of course.
Quite wild at the same time because we wrote a few tunes, and when we were writing the prayer, that went on my album as well. He was like obsessed with like sounds and textures. So like when we wanted like some kind of like reverse sort of sound, again he would draw it all out on this pad. So me and Jim Heist was engineering for him at the time, so it was all 3 of us in the studio, and he was like, I want this sort of particular sound, and he just ran off out of the studio and then just came back with this huge pad of like cartridge paper, and he just went into the vocal booth and sort of tore this thing, and then that's like this sort of reverse sound, like quite a big reverse sound before the drop, and then there was all these risers, and he went and got blow torches and was just opening up the valve on the blow
like real like Foley like, sounds basically.
Just making all these sounds, and I never experienced anything like that before. I was just thinking, fucking hell, what is he? He's going to set the place on fire. Do you know what I mean? So he was just doing all this mad stuff, and then there was a point where he got food poisoning while I was staying there, and I think we had like a couple of sessions on the tune, and me and Jim were in there, and we were trying to get this horn riff to work, and he just came downstairs with his duvet going, fucking hell, I'll do it then, and because he could hear it, and he was just like, this is how it's supposed to fucking go, like played the notes and was like, you're welcome, sort of stormed off out of the room. We were like, wow, this guy's crazy. That was just one thing, just never a dull moment hanging around with that guy.
Yeah, I bet.
So Pola,
opposite.
Marcus is chill, little dimly lit room, red wine,
couple of glasses of red wine.
And then Goldie's just setting things on fire. And that.
Like, to be honest, if you had asked me to describe probably what I thought it would be like, it would be pretty much like that. To be fair, so not disappointed. Not disappointed to hear that at all. Okay, so like, I guess we're moving on from Metalheadz then. So obviously the album's come out. That was 2013, was it? 2012, 2013?
Yeah, I'm terrible with dates.
I looked it up earlier. I think it was 2013.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I had to remind myself because this is actually interesting. This was basically, that album basically came out essentially when me and Tom started GLXY. So like,
oh wow,
yeah,
okay.
And what was interesting, we were talking about this in the car as well, was I feel like after that, so you start releasing tunes like Distrust and all this stuff. Like,
oh yeah, with Perez.
That kind of like was like the probably I might get called out for this, but I want to say like that was like the real start of like the minimal sound almost. I know there was like some other stuff like obviously Automic kind of inspired that as well, and the stuff that was an exit. But like you know how like big minimal drum and bass is now.
Yeah.
I guess if you trace it back like the sound design and stuff for the tunes now, it was back to kind of around that era. Obviously Skeppy as well, was doing a lot of stuff.
Doing his thing, coming through then.
Yeah. we were talking about in the car, we were like, what was that like? Just like, because obviously now it's kind of formulaic now. Like you kind of know what the sounds are going to be.
Yeah.
You kind of know how they're made. Like even me, who's not a minimal drum bass producer, could probably make a pretty good minimal drum like bass patch, let's say. Obviously back then, you guys was just kind of like...
It felt like a real time of experimentation.
Yeah, you were just kind of messing around with stuff, right? Like there was no rules to like make that sound.
And it was, I guess, like you were saying before, like, you know, when you have a little crew, you get that friendly competition.
Yeah.
So there was a period where we were all living a street or two away from each other. So there was like me, Alex, FD, Zero T.
This is North London, I'm guessing.
Yeah, at Harringate, Green Lanes.
Yeah, so okay, nice.
Rockwell, Stu, I think Clute was there, El Hornet, just loads of people.
A mad amount of people.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah. Because when me and Rich moved to our place in Seven Sisters like 8 years ago, it was still like 6 or 7 people like in that same area. Yeah.
And as a result of that, you're in each other's houses all the time, and you go, oh, listen to this, listen to that, and you go, rah, my man's trying to. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Go home and straight onto it or whatever. Or what you're surrounded by, it was influencing what you were doing, I guess. So you kind of pushed things down a particular road. Obviously, Tom went and did his own mad thing. Yeah. But like, I don't really think there was like any kind of like, oh, we're going to try and do something different. It was just doing something, like you say, because there was nothing around to kind of
that space was kind of unexplored a little bit.
I guess there was stuff, but
there was definitely stuff. Like, I don't want to give you all the credit for starting a whole movement.
Take that.
But
I
like,
wouldn't want to take that.
Yeah, no, of course not. But like, definitely like compared to like how it's like his own genre now. Like minimal. Yeah. It wasn't really a genre then, was it? It was like people were doing that kind of sound.
Yeah, and I think then there was a lot less people making music.
Yeah, that's also true.
So it was like the amount of people now just floods whatever happens, people jump on it and flood it.
Yeah.
Whereas there was a lot less. Well, there was a lot more. It was a lot less labels. There's probably a lot of people making the music, but the quality had to go through somebody who was kind of trying to put a lot of money into it. Whereas there's a lot more DIY stuff now. You know, like then
you can just bypass the label now and go straight to Spotify, can't you? Yeah.
So. I guess we were just. I don't really know what to say to that. It was just. It was good fun. I remember like those days writing stuff with Alex. I remember when we wrote Distrust, and the funny thing about that was like I remember Stu had a gig and I burnt a CD of while we were working on it, and I was in his car and we were driving to a gig and we were playing it and we were driving through Liverpool Street at night. And it was all the glass reflecting and the lights and stuff, and it was really dark. And the visuals to me sounded like what the music sounded like.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of thinking, wow. I mean, I had been smoking as well at the time. And I was like, right, this is pretty mad, like sci-fi sort of Tron. And then there's this big bang, and some bloke just booted the side of Stu's car. Some drunk guy, as like nothing to do with the story just whatsoever. But just another random thing that just happened. And I always remember like listening to it and playing it to Stu that night. But that Distrust EP, that whole artwork was a bit of a mess because I'm not quite sure what happened. Because Alex's name wasn't on it.
I was gonna say I was just about to say that. I don't think he's actually like credited on the tune.
I think it was something to do with because he was signed to Shogun at the time, and obviously I was with Metalheadz. But then all my artwork, apart from that one, Stu SP had done.
Yeah,
and he couldn't do it for some reason, and it just came out, and there was a lot of little things that went wrong with it, and obviously Distrust, and then Untitled came out. Which was another tune with Alex, and his name wasn't on that either.
Yeah.
And I think the tune I did with Ulterior Motive, Tevatron, I think they spelt that wrong as well. So that release is a bit of a bit of a weird one.
A little janky, yeah.
The music's cool, but
good though,
yeah. When I look at it, it's a bit annoying.
Speaking of art, we actually did bypass it a little bit. The album artwork, because obviously it's that real iconic like skyscraper from the bottom.
Yeah.
Where is that?
I don't know.
Is that a shot that someone took? Like you took or?
I didn't take it.
No, okay.
I should have said I did, really.
Yeah, you should have said you did,
for value. No, Stu found the image.
Fair.
And then just sort of, that was his theme, like, because most of the stuff he did for me on Heads was seemed to be quite architectural.
Yeah.
And sort of looking up for stuff. And then the amount of times I get tagged in stuff, going, is this where this thing's from? I'm like, I don't know, mate.
Yeah,
like,
to be honest, it's one of those things. It's weird, like, because it's such an art, like, it's such an iconic art. It's like burnt into my mind. Whenever I like look up at skyscrapers, I do actually see that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There was I was in New York once, and I saw what I thought was it, and I sent it to Stuart. And I was like, "Is this?
Is this it? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's never gonna be some proper random city you'd never guess in, like somewhere in like Southeast Asia or something.
It does look like it out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. That's funny, man.
But I'm pretty sure when I was walking, I walked past a bit. It's like an overpass bit. You look down. There's all these clocks on poles. Like,
yeah.
And that reminds me of the Hard Times album that was on DN Audio. Did you remember that?
I mean, I've seen that now.
So it was like Break, Silent Witness, and Squire, and it was Squire's Nick Reddick's label, who used to be my agent actually, and it was just those clocks. And obviously they kind of blurred all the stuff out, and I was just literally coming here, and just saw that. Wow, that's where that's from.
So it definitely is that, yeah.
I think so, yeah. So maybe that is from Rant, and maybe it's like a hub of
It's just a spot for D&B artwork.
artwork.
Yeah, okay.
That then became the new under a train bridge with the graffiti on it.
Well, buildings.
Glass and city slickers. You know
Have we haven't got what's the trend now? Have we got one?
I don't know.
There isn't really one now, is there? It's all AI built anyway now. So it's whatever ChatGPT wants us to be. So we've got to talk about Carbon. So I don't want to run out of time and not talk about your label.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Carbon. How's that been running your own label? We spoke about a little bit about the kind of demos and stuff and like the A&R process, but yeah, how you find that? It's obviously a new skill, I guess, to learn.
Yeah.
You're being a promoter as well. You're doing nights.
Yeah.
Has it been an adjustment?
Yeah. Like it's been a learning curve. It's interesting. It's good fun.
Yeah.
But I've always had help, like a label manager. So I've always had. I think when I first set it up, I had Veronica. She was helping me. Then I had Ifkan, and then now I've got Alex Smiler. So
people that all know what they're doing as well.
Yeah. So I can't take
involved.
the credit and go, I run I'd be lost without their help. So essentially, I guess what I do is get the music, listen to the music, and I was with someone recently, and they asked me a question of like, how do you know when it's a track that you want to take for the label? And you can't really answer that. You know what I mean? You just hear it and you think, I need that for. But you can't write it down or say what it is about. It's just
funny actually because we did some like fan questions and someone actually did ask literally like, what was the question? Someone you basically answered the question perfectly of like, how do you know when it's a Carbon tune or not? And it's literally you just know at the time, right?
Yeah, literally flick as you do. You skip in, and then you just think that's it.
Yeah,
because that's what was mad about archetype stuff. Like I'd never heard them before, and then that Justin Minor Forms sent me some stuff, and I was like, first time I thought, oh god, I was going to be like, oh, this isn't going to be very good. And then
don't like his profile.
Yeah. But I was like, archetype. I was like, okay, and then like kind of skipped, and then as soon as I heard it, I thought, oh, that sounds really good, and then skipped it in. I thought that, and then I was like, right, I need to listen to the whole thing, and then I thought, well, that one's really good, and then he said something else. I was like, that's just as good as the other one. And then the third one, I was like, how have you managed to, like, I literally emailed him, I was like, how have you managed to write tunes that sound like what I want my label to sound like?
Yeah.
And I've never met you, and we've never had a conversation about it. And I was like, this is amazing. And then someone else hit me up, and they're like, I've got these tunes. And I was like, oh god, they're shit. Like so there's no, it's impossible. I can't, you know what I mean? It's just like, you just hit, your ears just tell you, like, they're like, right, that's the one, you know, like, and then, and even with like established producers, you know, like, we've got just wrapped up a new single with Kian, Zero Tolerance. And
Zero Tolerance.
Zero T. Zero T. And he'd sent me something to do a release on Carbon, and the first time I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, I've got to have that one. And then after that, we had a quite a few month run of like stuff where it wasn't right, you know. I couldn't say why. There were good tunes.
But
I was like, it doesn't sound like it should be on the thing. I mean, there were good tunes, stuff that I would play, but it's just I can't put my finger on what it is. And then obviously and the mad thing is the flip side that he did. He sent me these things. He's like, "Oh look, I've got this," and I was listening to it. I thought, "Those drums sound wicked," and then it just stopped, and I was like, "There's no bass." He's like, "I haven't done that bit yet." He's like, "I've just done the drums and the pads and the sounds," and I was like, "Well," and then we had a conversation about what should the bass line sound like.
Yeah.
And then literally, because he's such a machine, he was like,
he writes so much music.
next day, like, boom, how about this? I was like, "That's it. Like, that's exactly it. How have you done that?"
Yeah, he writes like an insane amount of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
super talented guy.
Yeah. And also, like, what's really nice, obviously, he does that whole Get and D with it series.
Yeah.
He does the whole like vinyl.
Yeah.
His setup is super simple, man. We actually had him on the podcast. He spoke about it, like the fact that he loves using just a really simple setup.
Well, we used to live together for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I moved into
who
the
haven't
house.
you lived with in drum and bass at this point? Yeah.
Oh, that sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? I just move in, learn everyone's tips, and just
then,
move on to the
out.
next one. Yeah. But I mean, even them days, like when we lived together briefly,
Yeah.
it was like me, Kian, FD, and Stamina, and he just had a basic setup then, just a little laptop, some Absolute 2s, I think, the little red ones, and just a little. And that was it. He was just always writing music, always. Yeah. So I guess in regards to that guy's question, like what. I wouldn't be able to answer it.
Well, I do want to jump into the question. We've got quite a lot of fan questions. We don't have that much time left. I do want to jump into them, but I thought I did want to ask you a bit, because I know you touched on it earlier, so I'm not that talented. And we were talking about the fact that you've obviously got this like status in drum and bass in terms of well-deserved, firstly. I mean, I was going to sound like I was like, you don't deserve it. How have you done that? No.
Yeah.
That's not where
Smoke and mirrors. What's your tip? How'd you do it?
That's not where I was going.
Right, okay.
What I was going was
That's
like...
where I thought you were going.
Nah. I was going to make it nice. I was going to make you're obviously a quality over quantity guy.
Right.
What, like, if you kind of... And I know it's a hard thing to answer and maybe hard to sum up in a few words, but like, your inspiration, like when you're writing a tune, where are you drawing that from? And I guess, are you just one of those people that just, when you don't want to write, you just don't write? You don't feel like you have to write all the time?
Yeah.
Because you're saying you're barely writing at the moment, I know you said. So, like, what, if you can talk to us a little bit about that, like the inspiration and,
I guess what was primarily like my inspiration at one point was I wasn't writing what I wanted my sound to sound like. So I kept doing it to try and get what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
And the problem with that was like you're surrounded by all these really other cool artists, and everyone's just excelling and at such a rapid pace and speed, and I just sort of really struggled to kind of like keep myself motivated enough to kind of like stay in the dance with it, you know. Like I was just kind of thinking, oh, this is getting harder and harder, and then it was like post album, really. Like the album was really a real struggle for me to do. And once that was finished, I didn't turn my computer on for like 6 months. I mean, I toured quite a lot off the back of it. Yeah. But when I got back, it was never the same. I was in there like a quarter of the time compared to what I used to be. Yeah. And then
you do kind of get like a come down after you write an album, though. Yeah, innit? Like there is this kind of like period.
Oh, mate, if I wasn't in a duo with Harry, I would have
difficult,
fluffed this career.
Honestly,
he's the one who spurs me to get.
But he's one of those guys that constantly wants. He's one of those guys that always wants to write.
I mean, like it got to the point where I would write. If someone said, "Can you do a release for us?" I'd go and do it. I'd be able to sit down and come up with something and then go there, and they're like, wicked, fine, that's what we wanted. But it would be very rare that I go, I know what I'm going to go in the studio today. Like, I would never do that. The last thing I wanted to do was that. But if someone said, can you do this? Can you do a remix? Or we want you to be part of this compilation or something. Yeah. You've got until then. I said, okay, fine. And then I kind of drifted in and out of that. And then life happened, had a kid, got married, all that stuff. And it got less and less. But I was quite lucky because I was getting a lot of gigs without having to have a lot of output like a lot of people did. So I was still getting a lot of gigs and not having to put out as much music.
You're a good DJ, mate.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah. Well, it was quite fortunate because I don't know what I would have done if I'd had to have maintained a constant studio presence because, like I say, it was difficult. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
And I did kind of fall out of love with it a little bit after that album because of how much pressure and how serious it was. It sucked a lot of the fun out of it for me.
Yeah.
And boiling it down all the time was just such a grind that it really did sort of click it into, oh, this isn't actually fun for me.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to kind of want to do it again. And that's when we started doing Code Free, started doing a lot of collaborations, more than I was doing before because I needed to kind of
get yourself back into that space.
Have a bit of fun with it.
I mean, the way you were talking about that time in North East London where you were living with and sort of just circulating around with loads of other just mates who were all doing the same sort of just creative and just hanging out and just being creative together. It reminded me of my early Discus and Solvent days, but then also like when we all started meeting and stuff, we used to go out to Soul in Motion together, and then we'd all go back to someone's gaff and you'd mix and you'd work on tunes together and you'd show off your dubs. Like, God, we all need a bit of this, don't we?
Yeah.
I think it's
social
part of the journey for everyone, right? You've got to have that. You've got to go through that. I mean,
it shows the importance of it as well, innit? When you almost bring it back by collaborating, you're almost putting yourself back into that space.
Totally. I mean, and even now, like, I did a 12, a single on Carbon, which was a few months ago. But that was because about 6 months ago, I was like, right, I need to do something on my own label. And then just did it. And then was like, right, there we go. There are 2 tunes. And then I just turned the computer off and I haven't turned it on again since.
Fair.
So, but I've got another single pretty much ready to go.
That one, no, you sent me something the other day, didn't you?
What was that?
Yeah, you sent me something the other day.
By me or by someone else?
I haven't actually opened the link yet.
Well,
it was literally 2 days ago you sent it to me.
See, he's doing that to me now, isn't he?
No, I saved it to the Dropbox, but I haven't listened to it yet. Yeah.
Delete.
Yeah.
Nah, never. I wouldn't delete that. Come on. What was just random one? Just because this is a tune that I love as well. Cold Heart. Did that come out on Metalheadz? Was that on?
That came out on Exit.
That was an Exit.
No,
Okay, I was trying to think what that came.
Cold Heart and Little Dub Plate.
Little Dub Plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't like tunes.
Little Dub Plate was the one where I'd written Cold Heart, and then Darren was like, "Can I have it for Exit?" So I said, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Right, I need a B-side." So I was like, "Okay." So I turned the computer on. Luckily, like that day, I wrote pretty much that tune.
Nice.
Turned the computer off again, and that was it
yeah.
for like 6 months. That door never opened. Bare dust on everything when I went in there. And that, just cobwebs and that, like Adam's Family yard or something. Just hated it, man.
And would you say that now as well, it's still the same? It's just like you'll just write when you feel like you have to.
Yeah, I mean, at the minute, like I'm gearing myself up to get back in there, but I kind of have to kind of like really have something or a reason or like, try and egg myself on a bit because...
Would you do another album, do you think? Or
No way.
Never.
That's another... Like, so I actually signed a contract to do a second album.
Yeah.
Got an advance, all that stuff. Started writing ideas, and then it just wasn't really going anywhere. And then I had a meeting, so I played all my demos to Goldie and that, and they're like, okay, this is really good. And I never really went anywhere with it. And then over time, they're like, what's going on? Where's all the stuff? I said, yeah, it's going to happen. And then eventually down the line, they were like, look, we've, financially, we've managed to recoup the money from sales of other things. So if you want, you can just walk away and not do it. I said, yep, I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that was close. That was close, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I walked out of that situation.
Yeah, fair.
Skipped down the street, little whistle and that, just happy guy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just like I say, the first one was really difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult, man. Like,
yeah,
it's a tough one, man. It's like you put so much of it. It's almost like you put so much of yourself into that first album as well, and then no matter what happens, you're going to be disappointed with the result.
Well, that's funny you say that because I was just thinking, like, it's mad to think I put so much effort into it, and at the time it did so much for me.
Yeah.
But now when I listen, I think, oh God, like
it's weird.
Some bits I still like, some bits I just wish would just disappear.
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
But I guess that's what happens in it in time.
And it is like, I can't remember who said it. There was another guest we had on, and we were talking about the fact that like each time you do an album, it's like a snapshot of that period.
Yeah, where you're at.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's literally
totally.
what it is. Like, because like the end of that chapter is like that's the album, and then you kind of move into something else.
And then, but fortunately, what I'm quite happy is like take a snapshot of that. I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. One is like, okay, I haven't deferred from the track that I'm on, I've stuck to my guns and done what I've done. Well, the other one says, well, he hasn't really progressed very much because he's still doing the same stuff. You know what I mean? But that, to me, that I'm happy about that. That's my lane, and I like to stay in it. I don't because I think if you drift too far, you just shake off what you're known for, right? I mean, people can change and go forward and move upwards or whatever, but like for me, what was really important was just to do it for what I loved and not get distracted or fool's goals over there and try and run for that. Do you know what I mean?
I think Josh said it really well, didn't he? He was like, if you're chasing trends, then the guy who's already made that trend is already onto the next trend by the time you made that trend.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind
and that's why a lot of the stuff that you make will date well.
Yeah.
Because you won't look back, that's when I was trying to do that. And that's when I was trying to do that. And it's just like, if it's just really boring drum and bass all the time, then you're safe.
It's drums and bass all the time.
Exactly. No music in my music. Nothing to worry about.
Class. All right, let's jump into some fan questions, because actually some of the questions are in here as things I wanted to ask about anyway. So two birds with one stone. Don't worry, there's nothing crazy in it. I'm going to start with, so do you know Slater? Connor. SL8R Slater.
Yeah, from Manchester.
Yeah. He always sends in the best questions.
The best questions.
Yeah.
Okay. He's making some wicked
also
stuff.
an amazing producer. Yeah.
Big him up.
And also he's a machine as well. He makes like 10 tunes a week.
Mad.
Yeah. And he does Gary, he does everything, man. Yeah, super talented. His question was, what's your favourite discontinued biscuit?
I used to like those. They were like a pink wafer with the pink cream in the middle.
Yeah, they
them
banged.
ones.
Yeah.
Were they called Pink Panthers?
I think they were called
Maybe.
pink wafers, or wafers, maybe.
That's mad how that just in. I was just thinking,
I was thinking that's a great choice.
Yeah,
as well.
What a thing to retain.
Yeah.
That poor old biscuit's gone, and then when they get asked a question, it just jumps right to
Yeah,
that one.
That was also one of my favourites as a kid growing up.
Are they discontinued?
I haven't seen one in years, so let's assume they're discontinued.
Okay, that one, Pink Panther.
But that was the only non-music related question. Now we've got the serious music questions.
Okay.
Actually, Conker Collins, this was something that I wanted to ask you about. The zones concept. That was a really cool thing we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually remember my mate Hallam, who's from Bristol, or he lives in Bristol, he doesn't live in Bristol anymore, but he was one that put me onto it. Yeah, so if you heard of the zone stuff, it was when him and SP, you were basically doing shows around the world and recording the sets, right? Yeah. And they were like, it was like zone 1, zone 2.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a recorded mixtape thing.
I
It was
didn't
really
know.
cool.
That's sick.
How many
So we
did you do, like 4 or 5 maybe?
We recorded about 20 from all over the world.
Yeah.
But the ones that we put out, we did like Budapest, Brussels, Tokyo, and I think Los Angeles was another one we did. But we recorded like all of our shows we did for like a few year period.
Yeah.
And then we set up the Zone's website, so it was like a black and white website with a red pin.
Cool, yeah.
You click the pin and it would tell you like the venue, the city, the capacity. Click the thing, there'd be a couple of photos from the rave, then the audio
from the rave,
from the set.
Awesome.
Yeah. But then we would record the music and the microphone, so then we could bring it home, and then Stu could sort his vocals out if it was too loud at points or whatever. So then we'd put it out as like a. It was basically like taking inspiration from and a continuation from Progression Sessions, basically. Bookham and Conrad when they did like America or whatever.
Yeah.
So that came about from a conversation that I wanted to do something. So I was just listening to this stuff and I just rang up Stu and said, we should do this. And then from that the idea snowballed and we built this site for it and that. But it's all gone now. Like the site's gone.
Site's down, Didn't pay for the URL to be
renewed. I was like, well, fuck it, man. It's been out there long enough now.
Have you got the mixes? You got them somewhere, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I've got them all. I've got tons that never came out.
Like, there's a Patreon waiting for that to happen. So you can make some money off of that, man. I tell you.
Yeah, probably.
But it was sick. So I'm guessing. The other half of the question was. You would love to see it happen again. I'm guessing you're probably not planning on doing another.
We did get offered to do a couple of shows last year, I think, or the year before.
Yeah.
But then I'm not sure why we didn't do them. I can't remember why they didn't happen, but there was an interest for them. But I was just a bit like, well, there's been too big of a gap now, so like it's just move on, innit? Like,
yeah, fair.
Don't keep dragging up old stuff.
Yeah. It was like personally really enjoyed them. They were sick.
Yeah, thank you.
Rollout Records asks, will Carbon be the home of all your releases now, or will you still release elsewhere?
I don't know. I'd have to. I don't think it will be. I think like Goldie's trying to get me to do something again for Metalheadz, if Darren wanted to do something and for Exit again or whatever, or do something with him for Exit, I wouldn't say no. But primarily, if I do something and I think, right, well, I'll just put it. It's almost like, because of it's my label, I just instantly think, well, that'll go there.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody, because if I make it and by the time I've decided what's happening with it.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone says, will you do something for me, then I'll ultimately do something for them. Whereas without that interjection, it's just going straight on carbon.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, I guess you should prioritise the betterment of your own label as well.
I mean, giving everyone else enough stuff. So have a bit of me time now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. So the next question was actually the one. It was Ransom. He was asking, how do you describe the current sound of Carbon and what's on the horizon? You kind of said it. It's just stuff that you like, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say words to describe it because it'll probably sound really stupid, but it's just something to me that I know. You know, you meet people and they say, Carbon's got this. It sounds like this, and I think, no, it doesn't. Or oh yeah, right, yeah. And then I forget that it's everyone can hear it and make their own mind up of what they feel about it. You know, it can be, what anyone thinks about it, but I can't, like I said before, I don't think I could put my finger on the sound of it or what it is. All I'm going to
take from this is, if you're going to sample music, just make sure your Instagram profile
is on fleek.
It's on, yeah. It's looking like the fits are strong. You ain't got no dodgy stuff on there.
No, I mean, that's terrible to say that. It really is. It really is terrible to say that. I mean, come one, come all, innit? Just send the tunes. Send the stuff.
Flood in with terrible music. That's what I reckon. Make them listen to all of it.
Just loads of versions like Jack's undistorted, unlistenable version. Just loads of that, please. That'd be great.
Also, make sure you send your free 47 edits.
Yeah. Man, bro, I can't believe that.
I know, honestly, that's so funny.
When you were talking, I was thinking, what is he talking about? Honestly. And when you're saying, I thought, what was that? Someone done a remix or something?
It's like unofficial bootleg, yeah.
I thought that was the artist's name.
Right. All right, Wob asks, what do you think about Jubei beer?
Do you know how much I get tagged? In that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been around for a couple of years now, isn't it? People are like, ha, look at this. Like, bro, dead. Years of ha-ha-ha's. Allow me, please.
Actually, whilst we're on the topic of names, because you told us off camera, we should probably talk about it on camera. The name Jubei.
Yeah.
Remember I was saying, when I looked for your picture on the internet, a cartoon cat came up with a sword.
Anime samurai.
Yeah.
He was a rogue from a film called Ninja Scroll.
Okay.
Manga film. And he's basically like this sort of outlaw samurai who runs assassins for cash, basically. And really good film, really cool. I remember watching it, and it was just mind blowing. And got to the point where I had a couple of other DJ names, but then
remember what they were?
Yeah, I remember what they were.
Are you going to tell us?
No, but then it was like, right, you need a name for a flyer. And I was like, right, put Jubei. And they were like, well, what? Put what? And I was like, Jubei. And they're like, how do you spell that? I was like, oh, Jubei. And they're like, even weirder. And I was like, yeah, okay. But then what was funny about that was when the Dogs and Acid and Drum and Bass Arena forum days, half the people were talking about me because of the music that I was making, and the other half were saying, how do you fucking say this guy's name? How do you, why is it so, where's he from, kind of thing. And obviously that's the Jubei Kibagami, I think his name is, in Ninja Scroll, Japanese samurai. There was an actual Jubei samurai from Japan, so when I went there, they were asking me questions about it and some big story. I can't remember exactly, but
quite famous.
Samurai, not massively famous, but one area we went.
Headsy one though. If you know,
sick guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
the underground.
Sick,
he's not one of your main.
It's a headsy one. Yeah,
he's a boring samurai. Right, he finds it really difficult. And that, you know what I mean?
He doesn't like necessarily being a samurai, but he does it because he gets
heads off.
He gets asked to.
Yeah. If someone's like, "Can you cut his head off?" He's like, "All right, then." He just lashes. I mean, just one last run in.
But for 6 months, he's like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, he's just chilling. I mean, yeah. So that's where the name came from.
Fair play. Wings, another producer. He said, can he sacrifice his firstborn for Living Proof VIP? Seems like quite an extreme way to get a tune off of you. He hasn't got any kids, by the way.
Oh.
It's a hypothetical first.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Either doesn't like his kid or he really likes that tune.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical firstborn.
So he wants living proof VIP.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's hypothetically threatening to kill
Sacrifice his child.
His own child.
Yeah.
I
mean, you've got to say yes now, haven't you?
Well, yeah,
Really,
I don't want any more deaths in the world. So,
Yeah, so-
to be PC, I'd say, of course you can have it, man.
There you go, Wings.
And then maybe we'll send him some therapy lessons with it as well. Like, some vouchers.
I think,
you know what I mean?
Amazing. All right. A tune that we've spoken about a billion times in this podcast, someone's asked about. So Tom Wotton said he needs a backstory to show me with D-Bridge, which on my USB is still called Untitled Rhythm, exclamation mark.
Yeah.
USB story. I was going to say that as well. Right, we're going to kill three birds with one stone here.
Okay.
So the reason I found out you lived in Hitchin.
I remember.
Do you remember this now?
Yeah, now you say that.
I had a show with Comics in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the same USB stick and we accidentally swapped USBs.
Yeah.
But that turns out I actually had your USB.
Yeah.
That he
told me this.
and you and him had swapped maybe the night before by accident.
Yeah, I can't.
So basically, we did this like freeway USB,
swap.
like USB swap. Yeah, stole all the dubs off of it, obviously. Yeah, they're all on my computer. But yeah, show me. Yeah, Untitled Rhythm. I think you sent me that. I mean, I remember I heard Lensman play out maybe like fucking 8 years. It was like it's a tune's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it'd been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Before it became a tune.
Yeah.
Like as in like people knew what it was.
Yeah.
And basically, like, long story short, I was at home when I was living in Hitchin, and Darren came back. He'd been on tour somewhere, and he'd had these like kind of like sort of these little tablets, like little downers kind of thing. So I had a couple of these tablets, and then I was showing him a tune, like an older tune, and I was like, I can't really get anywhere with this, and he was like, oh well, let's just have a go on it. So then we literally within like a couple of hours, it was like Show Me was there.
Yeah.
Untitled Rhythm exclamation mark. Untitled Rhythm exclamation mark. Yeah. And because of these chilled out tablet things that we'd had, he left, and I saved the tune, shut the computer down, got on with the rest of my day or whatever.
6 months later, came back.
Yeah, but that was it. Yeah, so literally, like, I forgot all about it. And then I was like, oh, what happened to that tune? And I couldn't find it because I'd saved it in the audio folder of another project. So it wasn't until 6 months I was working on another tune. I was like, what's this thing? So then I opened it, and then that tune loaded up.
Yeah.
And then I think I moved house, and then something happened and it got corrupt. So I had to redo it. And then again, like Ash Skeppy came round and I played it to him, and he's like, oh, can you, because it was only half a tune. So he was like, oh, that's really good. And he went home, and then he messaged me. He said, oh, can I have a copy of that tune to play? And I said, it's not finished. He said, just send it to me and I'll just chop and loop it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So then for about 2 years, we were playing Ash's
like looped
version of it. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, you should maybe finish it. And then I was like, oh.
Add the little synth in, right?
Yeah. Sure. Well, yeah. Well, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
you can kind of, now you're telling the story, I can kind of hear how that tune basically came together. Yeah.
But then we were playing it, the few of us, not many, were playing it for ages. And it was just like nothing. And then just all of a sudden, it just started to get reaction.
Who do you reckon?
I think it was because Shy played it on his Honey, I Shrunk the Rave for Annie Mac.
Nice.
And then from that point, once he started playing it, other DJs like him started playing it, and then just when the numbers kind of completely changed. And
I mean, I literally still play it every set, man. But I still play that version. I don't think I even have the mix,
the
and
OG
mastered.
version. Yeah.
Show Me like the proper release version. I don't think I even have it.
The first time I heard that tune, knowing what it was I was with you.
Yeah.
We were at Sun and Bass, and we were in the sweaty amber night.
Yeah, the gazebo.
The inside bit. Yeah.
And it was either yourself or Skeppy playing.
It might have been the Skeppy SP set. Was it that one?
Yeah, I just remember you being battered.
Yeah.
Slapped the shit out of me when that tune
I think I know
came
which
on.
set it was.
Like,
That
was your party trick back. I'm so glad you don't drink anymore. Like, it was your party trick. You used to get battered, and a tune came on that he liked, and he'd just grab you and just start slapping the shit out of your back. You have big hands, bro.
I got big hands as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I think that's a set, There's a picture with me holding up a red card
in
the middle of the crowd.
Okay.
I think it was a Skeppy SP set.
Dishing out red cards.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it was that set.
back slaps and red cards.
Honestly, I was on different stuff back then, man. I was on different stuff
The
back
drinking
then.
days,
Yeah, it's funnily enough, isn't it? Them Japanese iced teas just ascend me, man. All right, we'll do a couple more. Okay, yeah, I mean, you got Focus was asking about the Flowdown linker. You kind of already told that story. Nick Fury asked, not the actual Nick Fury
from Dublin,
the Marvel. Yeah,
Nick Fury.
I think that Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He asked, what genres outside of jungle and D&B do you take inspiration from? I guess you were saying techno.
Techno, yeah.
Yeah.
Techno, bit of house, but like Chicago house, Detroit techno, like really sort of predominantly that stuff. Hip hop, not so. I don't really use samples like hip hop samples, you know. But mainly the kind of cold sort of industrial stuff I like. Definitely techno. That's about it, really.
Yeah,
not
fair.
really that.
It's a good answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I say that, but then, like, could be anything, really, couldn't it? Like, chart, pop music, anything, you know?
Yeah. Are you like a wide listener of music still? Would you say?
Yeah, more so now than I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be so militant with what I listened to.
Yeah.
And, like, now I'm just like, yeah, mate, I'll just slap on Radio 6 or whatever, or
it's weird.
Like,
even I've noticed
Capital Dance or something.
Honestly,
you know what I mean? I love a bit of Capital Dance.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not gonna
I've even
lie.
noticed that as I've gotten older, like I'm a big hip hop guy, right? And before I was only listening to like conscious rappers that had like less than 10,000 followers, and like, do you know what I mean?
You
like,
don't want to be a sellout guy.
Yeah, like Drake, like, do you know what I mean? Like real underground stuff. And like this is why I was like, yeah, obviously you have more time in your hands to like really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
And like now, like I just listen to anything, man.
Yeah,
If
well, I
it's
think maybe because it's more accessible now. I guess.
Yeah.
Then it was like,
that's
what am I going to listen to? Oh, this is who I like, and then you go
Yeah.
and get that stuff. And listen to it.
Yeah, you had to actively go out of the way. It wasn't even like pre-internet days.
No.
Like, you had to go, like, I remember, Christ, there were certain bands that you wanted to listen to. You'd have to go all the way to Camden just to find a shop that would sell that CD.
Yeah,
Like, you'd have to go to the other side of the city to go and buy a CD. It's
true.
That was ag. Whereas now you can have anything just by asking Siri while you're driving down the road. Like, easy peasy.
Yeah, that's true.
And you just like, to scroll through digital radio stations now, just take about an hour just to go from A to Z. It's just, you know what I mean? Whereas in the old days, you put the radio on, to listen to specialist shows, you had to wait till like 1 or 2 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then in the day, it was just like Celine Dion or whatever.
Yeah,
it was just like,
sort of like 40 records just on rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Fairs. I think that was actually the last. Oh no, there was what I kind of wanted to get into a bit of a rant with you actually, but we haven't really got time. But I will ask. So Harvey Creatures probably has a question that can maybe trigger the rant slightly. He said, "What's the 3 biggest changes you've noticed in the scene since you started?"
This is a good question. I like this question.
3 biggest changes in the scene.
Yeah, and it can be things you like or you don't like, or things you feel benevolent against.
And the entitlement is one thing.
Talk on that. Let's go.
People just think that, like, because they've done something, that's enough.
Yeah.
I did this. Why aren't you playing it? Why am I not up there doing it?
Yeah.
It's like, I think TC did a video the other day going, "Oh, I want to be a drum and bass producer. What do I have to do?" And then the other character's like, "Well, you know, you have to spend 10 years." He goes, "No." The other one's like, "No, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to do." And then there's a gap, and he goes, "Oh, I'm a DJ now." He goes, "Why?" "Well, I just went on social media." And it's like, okay, that social media aspect and the entitlement thing is a bit tricky. It's a really sort of it's hard to answer.
I mean, we talk about the social media thing a lot here, just because there's so many different takes on it, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like, you know, I guess how it was previously was like, just because you were doing it, and if people didn't think it was good enough, that would mean that the door wouldn't open for you. But that's just how it was, and you had to deal with that. You couldn't sort of stamp your feet, go on the internet and start calling people out as a result of it. You just had to get better, or just suck it up, you know? I guess it was a bit more harder to deal with.
Yeah, I would say I think you kind of said it before, right? The less people were making music, labels were kind of the gatekeepers of what was good. But now anyone can release anything.
Yeah,
things will go viral when then like not necessarily
it's
good.
Like that saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
I think that's quite it should be.
And I think in the midst of that, there's still lots of people doing lots of good stuff, but the noise drowns it out.
Yeah.
So people feel like to stand out now, then this is where the social media thing probably comes in a bit more, where it's like, now I need to make lots of noise online to stand out, even though my music's good.
Yeah.
Or maybe my music's not good, but I'm very good at like marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
100% producers that are writing just kind of like average tunes, in my opinion, that 5 years ago I would never have known about them, or 10 years ago I would never have known about them, or they wouldn't have been on my radar if it wasn't for the fact that they're just very active on social media.
Yeah.
You see them as a result of that.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to play the music though.
No. Okay, so that's one thing. What's two more?
I guess back to what I said before about there's a lot of people doing it way more.
Yeah.
Like you say, it drowns out. It's unnecessary. I understand that everybody wants to do it and get involved, which is great. It's great that they can, but there has to be some kind of
Quality
order.
control
like,
as well.
Yeah, like come on, like you go and watch a football match and everyone gets on the pitch. Why? God, because I want to fucking play as well. It's like, well, you can't all get on the pitch at the same time because then these lot they're not going to be able to do what they're supposed to be doing. And it's like it's hard, I don't know. Like there's just a tsunami of shit stuff. Like, but there's some great stuff as well. But I just think that there's just so much people like half-assed doing it, people who are doing it who, you know, you don't necessarily have to do your 10,000 hours, but like think about that.
Like 1,000
At least think about that.
Yeah. But it's, again, this is the Splice thing. I don't want to put it all on Splice because I think as a service, it can be very good.
Yeah.
But like the general democratization of music production means that now, you can crack a door or pay a very little amount for a door. Splice is like £5 a month. With those two things, you can basically put a tune together in like an hour. Yeah. And it'll be passable because the people that made the samples know what they're doing, basically. Yeah. So,
but I mean, you know, that's not a bad. I don't have problems with that stuff, I guess. But in the right hands, it's even better.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah.
But it's like you know, you wouldn't want, or you would like to think that you wouldn't just. You'd have this kind of awareness. But this is the other thing. I guess that just lowers the level of expectation or the bar that you need to get over to get yourself into the arena. It's come down a lot, I think. But I don't. In some senses, it has. In terms of people who just think, well, I want to do that. But if it's really up there, then I can't be bothered because that's too hard. But
yeah.
If there are other people doing stuff down here, then they're like, oh, well, I can do that. But then it's like, where's the pride in doing that? Like, where's the craft in that, you know? Like, do it, keep it to yourself, show it to other people, get constructive criticism, learn, master your art, I guess, get good at it.
I think that's the crucial difference, though. I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think we all did that at some point. Yeah. But we weren't trying to release it because it was bad.
Best to keep it behind locked, tightly doors.
Objectively, it was bad. So like, I wasn't trying to...
But then that's when you need... You know, like I was saying right at the beginning when I was saying about having my friends like Stu and Will. Yeah. It stops you getting above your station and stops you getting ego because you've got mates who've been moving from the beginning and you play them stuff, they go, no, that's shit, mate. Like, that is rubbish, you know. Or they go, that's running, go with that. Yeah. Whereas I think if people are just left to their own devices, a lot of the time they can kind of get a bit carried away and be like, well, I like this, which is great. But I think there needs to be some kind of like, I don't know what there needs to be.
The doors themselves should have a feature where AI is so good now, right? So
you're about to say that, like,
you know, I'm going with it. It's like you press it, it's just grayed out. It's just grayed out.
Like Britain's Got Talent buzzer. AI just hits the red buzzer.
It's just you can't even export. It's just grayed out as an option. It's like not yet. Not yet.
You haven't got that option yet.
Not this one. Not this one, bro.
If you can't figure out how to make that go yellow and export it, then you're not allowed.
We're just not going to let you do that yet.
It's like completing a video game.
Yeah. That door's locked for a reason. Yeah, we're just going to keep that. You're not required levels to go through that door. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes, I think it was sorted out, man. I did see if I'll try and find it. I thought I saw a well funny meme of like an FL feature like that, and it's like this beat ass, bro. Like it's like a little analysis thing. It's so funny, man. Fair. All right. So then, if you had to pick a third thing.
I guess I would probably talk about the small parties.
The grassroots stuff.
Yeah, like testing ground parties. You know, like Swerve and stuff, where it wasn't just like you get bigger DJs coming and playing whatever every Wednesday, but you'd also get like it was like a real melting pot of like all the producers would come and hang out and catch up and chat, swap CDs or whatever. And like obviously you wouldn't do that bit now, but it's like the community thing is either passing by in the club on the weekend, but not actually. Like, but then again, I guess it's bigger than just the cities that it gets played in now.
Yeah.
So I just think that those little clubs primarily were really good because the producers would go down, they'd all get to chat and hang out, you'd hear what was happening, and then you could go away. But then also it kind of gave little venues a boost of income in the weeks, and then it's just like didn't mean you had to go mental either, because some people go out and they just go mad, do loads of beans and just drink loads of booze or whatever, which is fine if you're going to go and do that on the weekend. But like on in the midweek
on a Wednesday,
I mean we've all gone a bit mad on a Wednesday.
yeah, of course.
I just feel like there's a real big, and it's a shame that there aren't these little things happening.
Well, we had Soul Emotion was our version of that, wasn't it? Basically,
Yeah, I mean, there's you've got Shogun sessions, but that's more just a kind of an event-based thing. And I mean, we were talking about it very briefly earlier, weren't we? We were talking about your sort of time in North East London and having that community of people around you.
Yeah.
Like, if there was, like, it just feels like there is room for like a DJ and just sort of producer-focused sort of social.
But then I guess
like a
it's
weekly
like
or fortnightly thing, innit?
What's happening is now is that a lot of people are going, oh, that's what we're missing. So then everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of defeating the point a bit, because you want to have like. But then again, I guess that was a time in, you know, like a thing in time that's come and gone. You know, it was what it was and probably won't be replicated again. That's how things happen sometimes, because now everyone's trying to redo what had happened
rather than do the next thing.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, we want it to be like this, where, you know, like, but then you got like 4 or 5 people saying, well, we're going to do this little thing and we're going to do that. But then they never really kind of like, I don't know, they never really emulate what they set out to
it's
do.
not an organic thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that original sort of group and cluster of people you worked with. It was just organic.
Yeah.
It was just the love of it, and you found each other, as opposed to being like
Planned.
waving a flag and be like, hey, let's all meet here at this time. It doesn't work the same, does it?
Yeah, it's not the same vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that answers it. If any of those were great answers, to be honest with you, I think it's more ramblings than actually.
There were 3 ramblings,
specific.
but there were 3 ramblings that I completely understand. So, and it's things that we talk about anyway regularly.
Yeah.
So, on the same page, basically. I mean, that 2 hours absolutely flew by.
2 hours?
Yeah, flew by. I actually skipped out loads of things I want to ask you, so it means we're going to have to do a part 2, of course. Okay. But I guess before we end, we always give our guests a segment just to like promote anything coming up, releases, events, shows. Anything
It's
you
called
want
the shameless plug.
Called the shameless plug.
So plug away shamelessly.
Yeah. That's where we're testing you about the Carbon release schedule. You should know it. It should be up here, mate.
We've got a lot of stuff for Carbon, but like I think the next single is you just had to rejig a couple of things. So the next release on Carbon will be 0T.
Sick.
Then after that is Tyrone EP.
Sick.
Then after that is a single by a guy called D-Side. Then after that will hopefully be a single by me. Then we've got a single to wrap up, pretty much done by HLZ.
Nice.
Then we've got what else have we got? Oh, got something from is it Serpent and Minor Forms. Then there's
And this is a busy old schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got like...
I've got more stuff as well.
2025 is already locked off.
Pretty much. And then we've got Submotive single.
Nice.
And then we've got a project which is me, Submotive, and Kid Drama. So there's like 3 tracks that were not finished, but we've got to try and find
all 3 of
time.
you have worked on all 3 of the tracks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So like started something, sent it to Damon, and then we sent it to JD.
Yeah.
Him and JD have done something, sent it to me. So it's all like that.
Nice.
And then there's another project which we're hopefully trying to get set up as well, which would be me, Tyrone, working on stuff with JD and Kid Drama as well. But that hasn't really got going yet. We've got ideas in the pot, but
Yeah.
and then hopefully I want to get something else from SP, and there is other stuff as well, but I can't remember. Alex is going to kill me. We've got loads of stuff.
I was going to. Well, it sounds like you've got
Yeah, and then like I've got like People Owe Me remixes that I haven't cashed in yet. So 2025 and into 2026.
Sounding pretty healthy,
Pretty much
man.
ready to go.
Good stuff. Any events put in the works?
Yeah, we got New Year's Eve in
Nice.
Bristol,
Nice. What venue?
Clock Factory.
Nice. That's a good venue.
Yeah.
You know, I've not played it yet. I keep seeing it on Instagram. It looks sick. Is that the one with all the lasers that come down on the booth or whatever?
Yeah.
It looks
it's
wicked, that
awesome.
one, man.
And then what else are we doing? I can't remember. And then I've just got gigs, normal gigs as well. Then we're trying to get somewhere in London sorted for next year, because we've got Bristol residency with not Clock Factory but with New Motive. So there's another venue that I want to get into down there, small venue. Prefer those ones to bigger ones, because we did the warehouse party.
That was the one you did when I saw you the night before. Yeah,
that was a nightmare. I mean, it was good fun, but it was a nightmare.
Got to organise.
Yeah, just getting the lineup sorted. We went through about 10 different lineups because it was just promoters and that. They're a nightmare, aren't they? Promoters and agents, they're just at war all the time, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you're like,
so
well, I
much
just want to get this person and that person. And they're like, yeah, but you know, it's going to be real tricky. It's like the underworld where they just like have these little manoeuvres, and this one doesn't like that one and that. And like, oh my God.
You know what? The only thing I've got to refer to is that fabric thing we did, and actually, for once.
Went easy.
That was actually pretty smooth, yeah.
Nice.
Obviously, like, the thing with London is that you just know who can't play because you can see they've got an event a month before, they've got an event a month after, so you can just rule them out automatically.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, who else can we get? And then, it was all right, to be fair. But I can imagine different agencies, different promoters.
Nightmare.
Yeah, it's long.
Nightmare. But it was great. It all went well, and it sold it out as well, which was mad, because it was like, I think it was like 1,600 people or something like
That's
that.
really good.
Yeah. It was like inside, outside, like courtyard, and we had like a bunch of food stands and stuff. That, do you know Joe Raygun?
Yeah,
He's
he does
got
the
a
taco.
Yeah, he was doing his thing down there.
Does he?
Had like pizzas and like chicken and that. It was really good.
Yeah,
and then it finished at like 11, I think. So we just went for a Chinese, went home, went to bed. It was perfect.
That's what you like.
Ideal.
I love
it was
a day
like
party,
back in
man.
the hotel at like 12:30 going, no, that was amazing. And then just like, all right, time to go to sleep.
Yeah, I love a day party.
Job done. Wake up, feel normal, go home.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Quite good.
Well, yeah, really thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. That
Yeah, I
was,
can't believe that was 2 hours, man.
Yeah.
Flown by.
Mad.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I needed a drink the whole time as well.
Well, let's go get that for you.
Yeah.
Terribly
We didn't even do
unprofessional
the-
hosts, are we?
You know, we didn't even do the whole subscribe thing either.
So
I always
you can do
forget.
it now, can't you?
So obviously, anyone watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, Spotify 5-star rating. Yeah, sign up to the Patreon. We need some money.
Yeah, we do.
Give us your money.
Yeah, then they can get some bottles of water in there.
Yeah, then we can fund some water. But yeah, until next time, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Big up,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice. We're done.
Bosh.